Rajendra Naik Surat, Pratham Tarang എന്ന വാദ്യോപകരണത്തിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ പ്രചാരകനും ഇന്ന് ലോകത്ത് ഏറ്റവും നന്നായി പ്രഥം തരം പ്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്നതുമായിട്ടുള്ള മ്യൂസിഷ്യനാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് വെൽക്കം ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഒപ്പം ശ്രീ ടി പി വിവേക് സിംഗറാണ്, ഹിന്ദുസ്ഥാനി മ്യൂസിഷ്യനാണ്. വെർസറ്റൈലായിട്ടുള്ള ഈ രണ്ട് ജീനിയസുകളാണ് നമ്മൾ പരിചയപ്പെടുന്നത്. ആദ്യമായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ശ്രീ രാജേന്ദ്ര നായിക്കിലേക്ക് വരാം. അദ്ദേഹം ഗുജറാത്തിലെ സൂറത്ത് സ്വദേശിയാണ്. വെർസറ്റിലിറ്റി എന്ന പദത്തിന്റെ അർത്ഥം അനുഭവവേദ്യമാക്കിയത് ശ്രീ രാജേന്ദ്ര നായിക് സൂറത്ത് എന്ന സംഗീത പ്രതിഭയാണ്. പ്രഥം തരം എന്ന വാദ്യോപകരണത്തിന്റെ വാദകനാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. ഒരുപാട് വേദികളിൽ അമേരിക്കയും യൂറോപ്പും ഉൾപ്പെടെയുള്ള ഇന്ത്യയിലെ വിവിധ നഗരങ്ങളിലുള്ള വിവിധ വേദികളിൽ ഇതിനകം പ്രഥം തരം അവതരിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് ശ്രീ രാജേന്ദ്ര നായിക് സൂറത്ത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തോടൊപ്പം സംവദിക്കാൻ എനിക്കൊപ്പമുള്ളത് ശ്രീ ടി പി വിവേക്. ടി പി വിവേക് റേഡിയോ അവതാരകനാണ്, ഒപ്പം സിംഗറാണ്, ഹിന്ദുസ്ഥാനി മ്യൂസിഷ്യനാണ്, ആൻഡ് ഈസ് എ മ്യൂസിക് ട്രെയിനർ ഓൾസോ. സോ ലെറ്റ് മീ വെൽക്കം ശ്രീ രാജേന്ദ്ര നായിക് സർ. He's from Surat, Gujarat. And I told you before that he was a versatile genius. എങ്ങനെയാണ് വെർസറ്റാലിറ്റി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കരിയർ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് മുംബൈ IIT-യിൽ നിന്ന് കെമിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിൽ ബിരുദം നേടിയതിനു ശേഷം പിന്നീട് US മാസ്റ്റർ ഓഫ് സയൻസ് MS കഴിഞ്ഞു. അതിനുശേഷം ദീർഘകാലം അദ്ദേഹം കെമിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറായി വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. പ്രഥമ തരംഗിനൊപ്പം അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് വേറൊരു പ്രഥം തരം എന്ന വാദ്യോപകരണം, പ്രഥമ തരംഗിനൊപ്പം അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു റൈറ്റർ എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലും ഏറെ അറിയപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട്. വളരെ പ്രചാരം നേടിയിട്ടുള്ള 2 ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് പുസ്തകങ്ങളുടെ, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് നോവലുകളുടെ സ്രഷ്ടാവ് കൂടിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചോദിച്ചറിയാം. Sir, can we start with your, experience as a writer first? And I know that you have already published 2 books, 2 novels. And can you please talk about that?
Yes. Actually, music has been my interest ever since I was a young boy. But surprisingly, even literature was my passion right from my school days. But you asked me a question about writing. I used to write a little bit during my school days, but in all seriousness, I started writing sometime around 2016. And then I started writing profusely. I have my own blog site. I write short stories. I write novels. I write poems, everything. So around 2016, I seriously started writing.
And your first book was Hazards Incorporated?
Not really. I wrote my first book in Gujarati,
okay.
A collection of short stories taken out of my blog site.
Right.
And then I published a book called Hazards Inc. And then after that, my latest is Secret Strings. That's my latest.
Can you please tell us about the Secret Strings? How it's connected to music itself?
Yeah. There is always some connection to music in whatever I write. Secret Strings, actually, in very short, it is set in New York, where an electrical engineer like me goes to study for his master's. Apart from being a genius electrical engineer, he is also a very good sitarist. So that's where the combination.
Is it biographical?
No, because I'll tell you why. It is just the base. He goes, and then, you see, if you remember in late 60s and early 70s, there was a craze in USA about sitar, primarily because of our great Ravi Shankar. And this guy, being a genius electrical engineer who has done lots of innovative research in radar technology, so I combined the two, and because of these 2 aspects of his life, he gets kidnapped in New York by 2 separate group of people. One is our country next to us, and other is some music group which was active. So all music groups in New York, they wanted somebody like a Ravi Shankar. So that's how and the kidnapping goes on throughout the novel and his experience and towards how he gets himself liberated and out of this kidnapping. That's the whole story.
So the name of the book is Sacred Strings. Is it it's available now?
It is available on Amazon. Both the books are available.
And the other book, that is
Hazards, it deals with a young engineer who is entrusted with the task of putting up a hazardous plant in a remote region in India. So how he successfully maneuvers to build that plant and operate it, keeping in mind the safety of workers, safety of people around, safety of all the people working in the area, and comes out successfully. So how he does that, that is his story.
So the two books depicts your two phases of life, right? One as a chemical engineer in a way,
Yeah.
and the other one as a musician.
Yeah, interwoven in some way. Yes.
Connected.
Right.
So what is your next literature venture? Anything?
Yes, I am right now busy writing a new novel, which deals with the times of a typical South Gujarat village way back in 1950s and 60s. What was the life like at that time? What were the villagers, preoccupied with? What were their interests? How they fought? How they came out? That's the kind of story. It's a mega novel. So it deals with completely 3 generations of family going through all the trials and tribulations of life in the village.
So in a way, it's a travel back to your childhood.
But that's right. Because I've been an observant child all my life. So I still have everything in my psyche here.
And heard that your father was a chemical engineer by profession.
My father, in his days, he graduated in chemistry in the days when there was no chemical engineering.
Yeah.
Chemical engineering started sometime in late 30s. So, but his interest was like mine. He used to do experiments at home, so I would keenly watch those experiments. Maybe that's why I became a chemical engineer.
Okay, sir. I know that you play sarod as well. And,
no, I do not. I do not play sarod. No. I used to play violin, and Bulbul Tarang is my first love. Yes, I used to play flute also many years ago.
And could you please tell me something about this Pratham Tarang? And told us like even sarod and saragi has been you can play.
Yes, if I may tell you in a very brief manner, when I was about 11-year-old, I saw that in the market an instrument freshly arrived from imports from Japan. It used to be known as Taiso Koto in Japanese, and it was named as Bulbul Tarang by the local Indian people. And it was so good and easy to play, apparently, that all young people bought that. It was available at a cost of ₹5 in those days, in the late 50s. So I also bought it, and then I started experimenting on it. I started learning all by myself when I came out quite well. So much so that in the school I used to get invitation to play in a cultural function. So that's how my music journey started. And I kept on playing old songs. Old song means today we call them old, but in those days they were the current songs. So I excelled in playing that, and basically very hard work how to play the songs so as to exactly mimic not only the song but also the interludes and the prelude and everything. That was my USP, you can say. And then after I finished my bachelor's in engineering in 69, like most of our friends, we went to USA. And in the US, around that time, my interest got in sitar. So I learned few basics of sitar before leaving for USA, and I took my sitar with me. There I practiced much, but without a guru, you cannot really play it well. So after 3 years, unlike others, I came back. At the same time, when I went to the US, I also took an improved version of Bulbul Tarang called Shahi Baja. Shahi Baja is slightly bigger, but almost like Bulbul Tarang. So I even started playing that. So in the US, I played both sitar and Shahi Baja. Then, unlike others, I came back and I built my career brick by brick, as they say. So around 1990s, I finally found my guru in Mumbai. So I started learning sitar very seriously, and his name is, he's no more, but His name is Ustad Abdul Halim Zafar Khan. He was awarded Padma Bhushan for his work. And he's considered to be one of the three pioneers of sitar in India, with Ustad Vilayat Khan, Pandit Ravi Shankar, and Halim Zafar Khan. So I learned in a true Guru Shishya Parampara from him, going to his home, waking him up, and And then after that, he heard me playing this instrument. Because around year 2000, this electronic version of Pratham Tarang came in the market. So obviously I went for it and I started playing that. When he heard me playing this, he was also surprised how well I played. So he asked me to play sitar kind of music on this. You go ahead and do that, you excel. So that's what I've been doing in the last almost 20 years, more than 20 years now. So my effort has been this instrument. Now I have made minor changes here and there, but basically my changes have been on the playing technique side, more not so much as improvement of the structure. All right. So the playing technique I had to evolve differently than what you hear in other bhajans and qawwalis, so that this instrument can at least try to mimic the other sound. Because you see, when you play a song, when a song is like an orchestra, it has sarangi, it has violins, it has sarod, it has sitar. So my attempt always has been to play the full song, starting from prelude, the mukhra, and the interlude. So that involves playing so many instruments. And I said, I must play all kinds of music on this. That's how I tried that. My techniques have been evolved out of necessity. That is the story of this instrument.
Anyway, our friend Mr. Vivek is there. And let us talk more about Pratham Tarang.
Right.
Before that, let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
How this balancing is happening, sir, between literature and music, contributing to both of his skills, and how it is happening?
I'm glad you asked this question, because a lot of people, if I can state my philosophy, if you have a passion or two passions or three passions, it is not necessary to allot time to each. There is no need. If you have the passions, you can excel in everything.
So happens.
It happens. You find time. You find time to excel in everything, provided you have real passion. I make a distinction between hobby and passion. A lot of people have hobby of playing sitar. Nothing wrong with that. But then, when you say you have passion is something you're so wedded to it, you cannot live a single moment of your life without that. So as I told you, I started my literary exercise way back in school, not used to write much, but everything went side by side, is all in parallel. To give you an example, in the 5 years in my IIT days, Powai, the very, very intense curriculum, no time. Even during those times, I managed to stay in touch with my new songs and I started playing this. So that shows that it is not necessary to get surprised at how one can do 2 or 3 different kinds of art. That should not be a surprise, provided you have passion.
Yeah, our viewers will be very curious to see you playing, hear you playing this. So can you try number?
I can.
And I know that you play a lot of film songs. Can you try a Malayalam number?
I play Hindi film songs. I play classical, full-stretch classical rag also. And because I got invitation to play in Kerala, I sort of attempted to play one Malayalam song also. Maybe I can play that. Right?
എല്ലാവർക്കും ഈ പാട്ട് മനസ്സിലായെന്ന് കരുതുന്നു. വിവേക്, can you sing that song എല്ലാവർക്കും?
ഇക്കരയാണെന്റെ താ
താമസം അക്കരയാണെന്റെ മാനസം പൊന്നണിഞ്ഞെത്തിയ മധുമാസം എന്നുള്ളിൽ ചൊരിയുന്നു രാഗരസം ഇക്കരയാണെന്റെ താമസം.
Sir, can you try some other number?
There are many numbers I can try. I can try the one very well known, our Vande Mataram. I can try. It showcases the ability of this instrument.
Rag Desh.
Vivekji got some questions also for you after this.
I showed that. Yeah.
Okay. ഇപ്പോൾ രാജേന്ദ്രജി വായിച്ച മലയാളം പാട്ട് കാർത്തിക എന്നുള്ള പടത്തിലെ യൂസഫ് അലി കേച്ചേരി സാർ എഴുതി ബാബുക്ക MS ബാബുരാജ് എന്ന നമ്മുടെ ബാബുക്ക ട്യൂൺ ചെയ്ത പാട്ടാണ്. ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുള്ളി പ്ലേഡ് ബൈ രാജേന്ദ്രജി.
Satyamasham Sharda makeup.
Yes, Karthika.
Yeah.
Then now he's going to play for us Vande Mataram, Rag Desh. Suhala Malayaja Sheetala Sasya Shyamala Madaram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Sumita Drumadala Shobhini Sumadhura Bhashini Sukhada Barada Mataram Vande Mataram. वाह क्या बात है सर.
ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ 27-നാണ് രാജേന്ദ്ര നായിക് ജി കേരളത്തിലെത്തിയത്. ആദ്യമായി അദ്ദേഹം പങ്കെടുത്തത് പെട്രോസ്ക്ലോ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ വിഭാവനം ചെയ്ത ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് ട്യൂൺ കളേഴ്സ് എന്ന പരിപാടിയിലാണ്. എംബ്രേസ് ന്യൂറോ ഡൈവേഴ്സിറ്റി എന്ന കോൺസെപ്റ്റിനെ ആസ്പദമാക്കിയാണ് ആ പ്രോഗ്രാം സംഘടിപ്പിക്കപ്പെട്ടത്. ചാവറ കൾച്ചറൽ സെന്ററിനൊപ്പമാണ് ആ പ്രോഗ്രാം ചെയ്തത്. അതിലാണ് അദ്ദേഹം ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കേരളത്തിൽ ഇതം പ്രഥമമായി ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം അവതരിപ്പിച്ചത്. അതിൻ്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ സ്പെഷ്യലി ടാലന്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾക്കൊപ്പമാണ്, ഡിഫറെൻ്റ്ലി ടാലന്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കുട്ടികൾക്കൊപ്പം അദ്ദേഹം പെർഫോം ചെയ്തു. വളരെ നല്ലൊരു അനുഭവമായിരുന്നു അത്. നമുക്ക് അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് അദ്ദേഹത്തോടൊന്ന് ചോദിക്കാം.
What about your Kerala experience?
Astounding experience. Because firstly, because of his initiative, he told me about Petals Glow Foundation and the kind of work that he has been doing, and it's close to my heart for a different reason. Let me explain to you why I named these instruments Pratham Tarang.
Yes, the genesis, along with the genesis
Yeah,
of the
that I skipped. Since late 90s, I heard about an organization, an NGO called Pratham Education Foundation. Now, this is started by a group of highly educated people from USA. They found and they concluded that the problems of India, they are mostly arising out of lack of education for the underprivileged children. They do not get proper opportunities to go for primary education. We are not talking about higher education here. And because a large number of Indian underprivileged children, they are deprived for various reasons of primary education, that is how they do not do well in the school. They go to school, they drop out. So it is those people who started this. When I heard about this, because one of those people is a close friend of mine. So he told me about it, so I also jumped into it. Along with my career, you asked me a question, passion, this is also passion. Right from late 90s, I devoted a lot of time in raising funds through my music. And it's another story how, but then every time I have played this, I've been able to attract a lot of people for come to the concerts, and that's how we have been able to raise big sums of money for Pratham. So I've been doing this for many years now. Last year also I was in USA. So because of my love for that work that this NGO is doing and I am contributing, I have named this instrument as Pratham Tarang. It's the Pratham Education Fund. So Pratham is the name of this thing.
രാജേന്ദ്രജി പറഞ്ഞത് ഇത് ശരിക്കും ഈ പ്രഥം തരംഗ് എന്ന് നാമകരണം ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഈ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റ് ആക്ച്വലി ബുൾബുൾ തരംഗ് എന്ന പേരിലാണ് നമ്മൾ അറിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളത്. ബാൻജോ എന്നും ബുൾബുൾ തരംഗ് എന്നും വിശേഷിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പറയപ്പെടുന്ന ഈ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെന്റ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പ്രഥം തരംഗ് എന്നറിയപ്പെട്ടത് എന്നാണ് രാജേന്ദ്രജി നമ്മളോട് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഇനി നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, സർ, we have come to know that you have learned sitar.
Yes, I mentioned that part. Yeah, because sitar is something I heard first time when I was in IIT Powai, and I was really bowled over. So I said one day I must learn this instrument. So as I said, before I left for USA for higher studies, I managed to get some basic training in sitar from a pandit who I used to live quite close by. So once that happened, as I told you, in USA I did play, but not as well. So when I came back from USA, I said I must learn sitar properly. So then I found my guru, and then I approached him, and he agreed to take me up as a disciple. And under him, I studied sitar playing technique in a true Guru Shishya parampara. So that did wonder. He was a great guru. So that is how I connected sitar with this. Yeah.
Did your Guruji, sitar Guruji, agree to your focusing on this instrument?
Absolutely. Yeah. Not focus. He said, keep it up because you are playing so well. In fact, he gave me platform for playing in big gatherings.
Great.
Yeah, he did.
So open-minded.
He never said that, oh, why don't you play sitar? You know? I did play sitar in those days also. But see, he was far ahead of his time. With the changing times, you must give promotion to new instrument, new ideas. That's how he allowed me to do it.
After starting playing this instrument, say, how long have you been playing this instrument?
No, that question is not very relevant because ever since I was 11-year-old, I've been playing this sort of instrument.
Okay.
The difference is in the size. Now, as I said, from the year 2000, this electronic version came. So you can say I've been playing it for more than 60 years now, right? More than 65 years now, you can say. But the moment this came in the market, I had to adapt my style to play this properly. This is much bigger, can create lots of other sound, including unwanted sound. So how to keep away from those? So that is how I've been playing this particular instrument, you can say about 23 years now. This particular instrument. But Bulbul Tarang ever since 1957.
Sir, is there any known artist playing this instrument? Classical artist, Hindustani or Carnatic?
There are a lot of people who play this instrument. They play filmy songs, some of them also play classical. But I think this instrument is still evolving.